Dr. Praveena Dorathi she's the head of Health and Safety and Environment from JLL Works Dynamics, West Asia. Praveena, you're around. And just one quick thing about whatever you're going to speak. I had no idea what you're going to speak, but my point is that Glasgow, for example, we just passed through that, and we know very well that what is so important to us. And when we are preparing our leaders for in the business schools, it's so important for them to really have sensitivity towards environment. And even this technology that we are employing, to a large extent, is going to safeguard the environment rather than destroy the environment. So it's a big thing for us. So, Praveena, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, I remember when Professor and I were talking about this session, the question I asked was, what is the relationship between EHS expert and an international accreditation, the school accreditation forum? And I perceived my answer to be that this is the forum which actually refines the process in creating the leaders. So I'm at the right place, I would say. And thank you for the opportunity. It is an honor and privilege to be part of the session. And I'll be just, as you touched upon, I'll be talking about why is it important for leaders to understand EHS, environment, health, and safety. Since I had the portfolio of environment along with health and safety, I just wanted to touch upon all three briefly. Environment, health, and safety, in simpler terms, is a business integrated function or platform or department which primarily aims at keeping the employees of an organization, contractors, visitors who come to the site and all safe, away from harm's way, and also to reduce the impact of the business on the environment. So usually EHS has been driven because of a couple of factors. The first one is moral compass of that company, which is rare, but few companies do go beyond and support environment, EHS initiatives and all. They run programs on EHS. Second is financial implication, which is when there is an incident happening, accident happening, like if there is going to be an injury, or worst case scenario, God forbid, if there had been a fatality and or it is going to incur financial implication, or emissions are going to incur financial implications to the company. Third one is legal implication or legal risk. So a company works towards legal compliance by default, any sort of legal compliances and all, which is also linked to the reputational risk of that company. And historically, legal and reputational risk and the financial risk used to drive the company regarding EHS decisions. And it is not anymore, as you are talking about the COP, Conference of the Parties, and the pandemic. These are actually shifting the needle towards the moral compass and make the company liable to reset their purpose, to reduce the impact on the nature and keep the employees safe and healthy as well. So we'll touch upon each of the aspects. For example, we'll start with the environment part of EHS. And this environment part is not anymore about the number of paper consumption. So historically, the companies used to work upon like paper consumption reduction only, or energy consumption reduction only. It has widened its boundary, and it is about the impact of the business as a whole, establishment as a whole on the environment, starting from the infrastructure and raw materials required for the business, wherein the circular economy comes into play and plays a major role in that aspect. Next is about the health. Health, usually it is perceived to be by the companies like It is about the gym subscriptions or gym facilities, cafeteria menus, salads, and all. It is much more than that now. Because of the pandemic coming in, people are looking for how healthy the work environment is of the company, for how much the company is going to do to keep me safe or healthy. And it extends to the level of how clean the air is, which I'm going to breathe in, and how pure the water is, which is going to be available for me to have. And if we have gone, there are international standards, well building standards, which focus on even exposure to natural light. So differentiate between the artificial lighting, natural lighting, and all biomimicry and all will come into play. And next is about the safety. Safety is perceived to be something like, ultimately it boils down to personal protective equipments, whether I'm having the helmet or mask or gloves or not and all. But it has gone beyond due to the pandemic. It has gone beyond to the level that ISO has even created a standard on psychological safety. So psychological safety is the topic of discussion as of now amongst the companies, how to ensure the employees are safe enough to open up and have an open, free conversation and bring their authentic self to the table. So that is, and additionally, behavioral safety also had been there for a long time, which required organizational change culture coming in. Overall, if I summarize, HSE is not about just a function or the department or the vertical. It is actually about the heart and soul of the company, which is the employees. And as a corporate employee, I can see the shift which is happening, that this discussion is not anymore within the department. It is actually at the CEO, CXO levels. It is at the leadership level. And if a leader fails to perceive the change which is happening with respect to HSE and is unable to adopt or acknowledge the change which is happening, then will definitely that will fail the employees or will have adverse impacts on the employees, and thereby extending the brand value of the company itself. So that's where it is important for the B schools to actually nurture the leaders with a paradigm shift in understanding of the EHS. So that's the short and brief inputs I wanted to give regarding EHS.
Thank you so much, Praveena. I think your perspective was really amazing. Very brief, but absolutely, point, because EHS has to be understood from a different perspective. It's not just the practical day-to-day kind of thing that you pointed out. It's much more than that. It's about psychological safety, psychological security, and so many things. And you are very right. The leaders who are going to join the industry for tomorrow are definitely have to really understand this aspect, and it has to be taught in the classroom because much of the MBA education is not just technical. Technical tools are available, but then it's more to do with attitudes, their competencies that they build, their critical thinking processes, and so on. So in a way, it is an amazing sort of insight that you gave. Like I said at the introduction itself, I think you should have come at the first, so that the debate would have been very different. I should have included you in the panel, I guess. It would have been really very interesting. But thank you so much for an excellent presentation, brief and very good. I think we have really seriously run out of time.